So there was this massive cyber attack on the Mexican government recently. And the culprit? Well, it wasn't some shadowy hacker group using crazy complex malware. The main weapon in this whole heist was actually something millions of us use, probably every single day. Let's get into how this all went down. First, just to get a sense of the scale here, we're talking about a staggering amount of data. Starting back in December, a single hacker managed to walk away with 150 gigabytes. I mean, to put that into perspective, that is an enormous, enormous trove of super sensitive government files. And what exactly was in all that data? Well, this is the scary part. We're talking about the personal details of millions upon millions of citizens. The hack pulled records from the Federal Tax Authority, the National Electoral Institute, even civil registries. This wasn't just random information. It was basically the digital identity of an entire nation. So it begs the question, right? How does one person pull off a heist this big against multiple government agencies, no less? What kind of sophisticated, almost military-grade tool did they have to use to make this happen? And here's the twist. The answer is kind of unbelievable. The weapon wasn't some custom-built virus or a top-secret exploit. Nope. It was a publicly available AI chatbot. You know, the kind of tool that people are using right now to help write an email or plan their next vacation. So let's meet the accomplices in this digital crime. The hacker essentially turned two of the biggest names in AI, Anthropic's Claude and OpenAI's ChatGPT, into their personal assistants, manipulating them to plan out and then execute a huge digital break-in. So how'd they actually get these AIs to do their dirty work? Well, according to Gambit Security, it all came down to communication. The hacker fed them prompts in Spanish and used a few clever tricks to get around the AI's built-in safety features. You know, the guardrails that are supposed to stop this exact kind of thing from happening. They basically tricked the AI into becoming a hacking tool. Now, what's really fascinating here is that the hacker didn't just rely on one AI. They actually used two of them together in this really brilliant but also kind of disturbing partnership. Each AI had a very specific job to do. It was like a well-organized team. You can think of Claude as the strategic planner, right? Its job was to find weak spots, vulnerable government agencies, and brainstorm the initial attack ideas. Then, ChatGPT was brought in as the tactical infiltration consultant. It handled the nitty-gritty details, like how to move through the networks, figuring out the risk of getting caught, and even spitting out ready-to-use infiltration plans. The whole process was just incredibly methodical. Step 1. Bypass the safety features. Step 2, use Claude to do the high-level recon. Step 3, get the detailed actionable blueprints from ChatGPT. And finally, Step 4, use those AI-generated reports to jump from one compromised system to the next. This thing was a highly structured AI-powered attack from start to finish. Now, with a breach this huge, you would expect a really clear, swift response, right? But what actually happened after it was discovered was a bit of a mess. You had the tech companies quietly taking action on one side, and the government agencies involved loudly denying anything happened on the other. Yeah, the stories couldn't have been more different. You had Anthropic and OpenAI both confirming, yep, we investigated, we found violations, we banned the accounts. But then you had Mexico's Electoral Institute flatly denying any breach at all, and the Jalisco state government just pointed the finger and said only federal networks were hit. It was just a really messy and contradictory aftermath. As alarming as this whole story is, it's so important to understand that this isn't just a one-off thing. This is a huge, flashing red light. It's signaling a brand new and pretty dangerous trend in cybercrime, where everyday tools are being turned into weapons. And the evidence is really starting to pile up. Just last week, Amazon reported a group using common AI tools to hack into over 600 of their firewall devices. And before that, Anthropic, the maker of Claude, had to disrupt a suspected Chinese espionage campaign that was also using Claude to set up attacks. The pattern here is becoming really clear, and frankly, pretty concerning. So, what's the big takeaway here? It means we've officially entered the era of dual-use AI. The exact same tech that helps a student write a better essay can now be used to plan a massive data heist. It basically lowers the barrier to entry, making it easier for anyone to become a sophisticated attacker. It's like the democratization of cybercrime. And all of this leaves us with a really critical question for the future. As these AI models get exponentially more powerful and woven into every part of our lives, the challenge isn't just about building better tools. It's about figuring out how those very same tools are going to be turned against us. How exactly do we secure a world where anyone can have a master hacker right in their pocket?